media.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. It's time once again to talk about the Liberals completely imploding and what it means for Canadian politics moving forward. Not only just the Liberals, but liberal journalists that are losing their minds on Twitter. They're being ratioed into oblivion. I think people have had enough. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit about what's happened now that Mark Carney has joined the Liberals. I think that the move that Trudeau made by bringing him on as an advisor was simply to try and secure his position moving forward. Trudeau is clearly scared of Mark Carney, but one thing that's really funny, and we're going to get to an interview with good old Vassy coming up, is I want to highlight what's happened here with a Liberal journalist, Brian Lilley. If you've ever seen Brian Lilley over at the Toronto Sun, this guy flip-flops more than a pair of Australian sandals. But hey, here we go with him discussing Donald Trump. After tonight's Bills-Dolphins game, this will be Trump at his next appearance. They're eating the Dolphins. Millions and millions of people eating the Dolphins. It's crazy. My terrible Trump. Let's we know we're talking about dolphins, right? Of course, the ratio on Twitter, 42 comments, 78 likes, 76 likes to 10,000 views. Look at that ratio. Oh my God. So what you're saying are Haitians are not eating pets. Brian Lilley come out saying, I'm saying the Buffalo Bills ate the Miami Dolphins last night. Again, he chimes in multiple times to try and cover his tracks. You really should do your research. The Ohio story is true. There's tons of 911 calls and body cam footage. This is a joke about a football game where the Buffalo Bills destroyed Miami. Lilly and Ford, fat bros sucking up to progressives. Do you have a sense of humor? This is a joke about how badly Buffalo beat Miami. It's like he just keeps repeating himself. Just like we all say, there goes Brian eating another, rooster. Are you stupid enough to think that pets being eaten isn't happening? If you have a dog, I will send you 2 nights to Aurora. But if you come back without a dog, you owe me $100,000. Brian Lilley, first off, this is a joke about how badly Buffalo beat Miami once again. Secondly, you obviously didn't watch my video debating Kinsella after the debate. Still, you jump in with your idiot opinion and immediately go vulgar, go straight to hell. Don't be silly, Lily. I was just starting to trust you. This is a joke about a football game. Yeesh. Brian Lilley getting eviscerated on Twitter, and it's hilarious. There wasn't enough there to make a whole video out of it, but it's still important to highlight that stuff because, whatever you think about Brian Lilley, I personally think he's two-faced weasel. It's good to see him flip-flop a little on Twitter, getting absolutely ratioed. But let's get over to the meat and potatoes of this video. We've got a good old Vassy sitting down with liberal pundits again. So, and now again, they're talking about Mark Carney, and they're talking about what this means for the Liberals moving forward in their policies. Let's take a look at this contrarian Twitter post saying, Vassy absolutely destroys a stunned Liberal on multiple points. I'm not sure if the Liberal interviewee had so much filler and Botox that they cannot talk properly, or they are just on medication. 10 minutes boiled down to the best 4. I will be stopping periodically to interject my commentary, but let's get on with this 4-minute clip. It's good. It's juicy, folks. Grab your popcorn. Let's go.
More about that, because I think in particular the idea that he has been appointed to lead a task force focused on economic growth. I can think of numerous occasions on which your ministerial colleagues have pointed out to me that Canada's economic growth patterns are something to celebrate. So why do we now need a task force to study it?
It's not a task force to study what the economy should be, but a task force that adds on what the government's already doing.
So I guess I'm a bit confused. Is he brought on in order to paint a contrast with the Conservative Party, or to better advance your government's policies to create more economic growth that people feel on an individual level?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's coming to the party, to the Liberal Party of Canada, to work with the party in order to make sure that we're ready for the next campaign.
So again, just to be clear, like, do I interpret from that you plan to put more more things in the window for Canadians, that you plan to be specific about what else your government is going to do to better improve their situations? Or are you going to continue doing what your ministerial colleagues keep saying to me, which is keep on delivering, essentially keep on keeping on? Or is there, wholesale change in store for Canadian voters?
I think what we need to make sure is that Canadians are understanding that not only the economy is going well, we have a strong economy in this country to be made by Canadians. What country do they want to live in?
I think it's important to highlight that the economy is going well because we have a strong economy. What kind of a response is this? First off, forgive me for being oblivious as to who this Liberal MP is. I have no idea. But the accent, I wish there were tougher rules in this country that said you got to be born here to run. You can't be from another country. I think that falls under conflict of interest. I think you should be able to speak full English. But what's more important here, what we're seeing here is the stumbling. This woman is, if you've ever heard of NPCs or non-playable characters, now that's a term brought on by video games, because usually when you find NPCs, in video games, they only say what's scripted to them. They only have a few words of dialect that they speak. This is exactly what's being given to us in this interview with Vassy. In fact, it's insulting to Vassy. I've always said that I feel that despite CTV being a government-paid prostitute shill media company, Vassy seems to stand on her own without bowing down most of the time to the woke ideologies of Canada's media networks. But it's insulting to bring somebody on like this that can't even answer a question properly. Let's continue.
But how do you address, Minister, that though you say that the economy is doing well, and that, yes, at the macro level, GDP is projected, for example, to grow at the second fastest rate in the G7 next year, when you break that down per person, the situation is very different. The IMF, for example, the economy has now fallen behind its population growth for the fifth straight quarter. Compared to the same period last year, per capita GDP is now down 2.2%. It sounds like what you're saying is, as long as you tell Canadians that the Conservatives will take everything away, they will realize that your government actually is on the right path. But the data seems to support the sentiment that they've been expressing to you through public opinion polling, that they don't feel that way.
Well, there's one thing I'm going to agree with you, is that economy is doing well, but people don't feel it in their pockets. And financial security that they don't feel they have.
Yeah, but respectfully, you've been in office for 9 years, Minister. Your government has been there for 9 years. Those programs that you say you just need to better communicate, Canadians are not telling you through public opinion polling or their own well-being, as you just expressed it, that those programs are actually making a salient difference in their lives. Does your government not bear responsibility for the place Canadians find themselves in now? And don't you, as a result, need to present them something different than just, we will keep on doing the same until you realize how much we've helped you?
Well, again, I think it's a shared responsibility in a party when you're campaigning, that we go to the doors and we have those conversations with Canadians. We have to have those conversations.
So before we get on another question here, I just want to jump in. Apparently, this is a Liberal campaign co-chair. I'm going to say right off the bat, I did not pre-watch this video ahead of time. And I usually save these kind of clips because I think it's good to get my reaction at the same time you guys are having your reactions. So this is not a Liberal MP. It's actually a Liberal campaign co-chair, which strikes me. This person has no public speaking ability. And they're the co-chair to a campaign. Should they not be better prepped to sit with somebody like Vassy? Essentially saying that, the tactics of the Liberal Party right now is to, as Vassy says, is to encourage everybody that the Conservatives are going to take everything away. Well, everything that the Conservatives are saying they're going to take away isn't necessarily a bad thing. They're talking about reducing taxes. They're talking about taking away the red tape to build houses. They're talking about getting rid of the carbon tax. I really don't see what the Conservatives are talking about taking away that is so terrible. In fact, if that's all they're going to focus on, I think they're going to do nothing more than prop up the Conservative numbers for them in the Liberal Party. But let's continue.
Minister,
And
if they're
campaign
not,
matters.
didn't your government help to lead them to that place? I'm not absolving the Conservatives of a lack of answers for exactly what you're spelling out. 100% they deserve those questions. But it's as though you're saying it just happened, right? Like Canadians just got to this point because of other stuff, nothing to do with our government. Like, do you understand the connection Canadians have made that they're lying blame at your feet for a lot of this? And in response, you're not presenting them anything new.
Well, I agree again with you around the fact that we have a responsibility to have those conversations with Canadians. The global stage right now is in uncertainty.
He's saying he should, saying that constituents tell her over and over again at the door that he needs to go.
Absolutely. You know, in the party, we have many people that can have the difference of opinions.
Ask you more about.
I love how she closes by saying, are there people at doors telling you he needs to go? And she's nodding her head and saying, yes, absolutely. But people can have their opinions. I mean, this just shows the writing on the wall that the Liberals have literally imploded, that they've collapsed. Anything you see on television at this point, whether it comes to Trudeau's speeches, whether it comes to the things that he's trying to do moving forward to destroy this country further up until the next election, it's all theater, guys. It's all a nothing burger at this point. We'll still cover it here on the channel, but this should paint a picture for you just as to where the country is moving, that we are in fact moving forward to a Pierre Poilievre majority here in the country. I think the writing's on the wall for the Liberals and that it's over. I hate using those two words because they've been so abused on this platform, but nonetheless, folks, the Liberals' time has come to an end. This campaign coordinator has no idea what they're doing sitting down with CTV. If they're going to have anybody try to sit down with CTV, they should at least have somebody who has speaking capabilities, somebody who's able to handle tough questions and provide answers that may try to help bolster a party or give them some kind of credibility, but we're not seeing it here. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Again, my apologies for misrepresenting who was in that interview with Vassy. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hopefully it's earned your subscription. Make sure as you're clicking that subscribe button, you click on the bell for notifications as well down below, and join me here live on the channel each and every Friday for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show, where we talk about everything that's happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, and some back and forth within our community. It's always great to hear what you guys have to say outside of making these videos, and I look forward to chatting with you, with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, on Friday Night Fringe each and every Friday here on the channel, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, every single Friday night. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.